everyone. Welcome to this special edition of Out of the Box. I'm TC Kirkham at TKR Video Central. Let me fix my hair here. It looks terrible. I'm not ready to do the new Kirkham Report yet. I still have a few things to do that I'm working on. So I wanted to get this out here because over the last couple of days, I have received literally a box and a half, a record storage box and a half. One of these box and a half of 45s from Dawn and Mary. I've also picked up an album I want to talk about, so I'm going to do this whole out of the box as a separate thing, and I hope you'll enjoy it because I have a lot of 45s to show off, probably more than 100. They sent two. I mean, they're coming from this collection that they're auctioning off as they get ready to move to Costa Rica, and they're finding stuff for me and sending it to me, and I'm like, you guys are too kind, but I'll appreciate it. It's going to take me a year to go through everything they've sent. Seriously. I mean, boxes and boxes and boxes. And eventually I'll sort it out, put some of it out for other people to pick up. But I want to get everything organized first. That'll take a while. Probably will actually have it up for sale sometime next summer at the rate I'm going. But in any case, the first group of records I'm going to show are what Dawn and Mary call craptastic lots. They picked these up. Dawn thinks most of these came from her local record store recently. I mean, in the last month, and she, did her little spin on them with that, with her random 45 play shows, and then sent them to me. Now, these have no sleeves, and a lot of them are actually in good shape, although some of them are scuffed up. But that doesn't mean they're not playable. Let me get them out here on the desk. Set it here. I'm just going to show them off, run them by, maybe comment on a few titles. Who knows? Grab the first pile. So, in this craptastic lot, as they call it, we have Nice to Be With You from Gallery. Great song from the early 70s. I've never seen this on black vinyl. My copy's on gold vinyl. Grand Funk, we're an American band. The 432nd copy of Undercover Angel by Alan O'Day. There may be some repeats in this, by the way, because, I mean, I am getting duplicates on some of it, and I don't care. I can play them, keep the good ones, and send off the other ones. Patrick Hernandez, Born to Be Alive, which you guys know I have. I love this version of this song, and nobody seems to know it, even though it did hit the top 40. Back in 1974, Wednesday and Last Kiss. The Boys Are Back in Town from Thin Lizzy. Oh, Hold Me Back. Rock and Roll Part 2, Gary Glitter. The Show Must Go On, Three Dog Night. Brand New Key from Melanie. This is a white label, and it obviously had some damage around the side. It looks like what they may have done was remove the original label and put a new one on, but this isn't, like, it is an actual label, so I don't know. This one's scuffed up, but I have this already, and it's a great song, Black Betty, Ram Jam. Wonder Worm from Captain Sky. I may have picked up a really nice copy of this during their Whatnot sales a few months ago. I do remember that being on there. Will It Go Round in Circles, Billy Preston. Sweet Mary, Wadsworth Machen, a lot on Sussex Records, which doesn't exist anymore. It was part of the Buddha family. Clap for the Wolfman, the Guess Who. Frankenstein, the Edgar Winter Group. A classic from the New Seekers. Look what they've done to my song, Ma. This one I don't know. This is recent too. 4th and Broadway, which puts it late 80s, early 90s. Thinking About Your Love by Skipworth and Turner. I don't know anything about that. Neil Sedaka and the ballad version, Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. White Room by Cream. Orleans, Dance With Me, one of my favorite songs of that era. For the Love of Money, the OJs. Grabbing number 2. And in number 2 we have Smiling Faces Sometimes, the Undisputed Truth, right? Undisputed Truth. Nights in White Satin, the Moody Blues. Motorcycle Mama, Sail Cat. Knock on Wood, Amy Stewart. Mr. Big Stuff, Jean Knight. Let's Groove, Part 1, Archie Bell and the Drells. I'm not sure, I can't see the date on this. 75. I didn't know TSOP had changed their label in 75. It had been the green label that we just saw. They Freak by Chic. The Guitar Man, Bread. Ah yes, an AM/70 staple, Baby Come Back, Player. The Rubber Band Man, The Spinners. Freddy's Dead, theme from Superfly, Curtis Mayfield. Too Hot, Kool and the Gang. Top of the World by Carpenters. I remember this being on the tan label, so this is right around the time they were switching out the labels, I guess. It might be a reissue too, I don't know. Blackwater, the Doobie Brothers. Baby Come to Me, Patty Austin and James Ingram. Mandy, Barry Manilow, still on Bell there. This was released originally on Bell. Of course, Bell became Arista in December of 74 when Mandy was out. So it is available on both Bell and Arista. Everyone's a Winner, Hot Chocolate. Heaven on the Seventh Floor, Paul Nicholas. Lonely Boy, Andrew Gold. Hooked on a Feeling, Blue Sweet. I've never had this on a single, so that's cool. And it actually looks like it's in fairly decent shape. Blinded by the Light, Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Taking Care of Business, Bachman Turner Overdrive. If You Could Read My Mind, Gordon Lightfoot. Apparently, Shar really liked this. She's got her name all over it and stars and stuff. Columbia Hall of Fame, Think I'm in Love, and Shaken from Eddie Money. Bop by Dan Seals. The only country song on this lot I've seen, and of course that did graze the Pop Top 40. I think it peaked at 42. Get Up and Go, the Go-Go's, right? Yep. One more group here. One more group in this lot. And it starts with Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. A Motown, Yesterday's Memories, Don't Leave Me This Way, and I'm Here Again from Thelma Houston. Don't Bring Me Down, ELO. Slow Ride, Foghat. Funky Town, Lip Sync. With a Little Luck, Wings. Got to Get You Into My Life from the infamous Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by Earth, Wind & Fire. Good Times by Chic. This was owned by Beachside Restaurant at some point. Fooled Around and Fell in Love, Elvin Bishop featuring Mickey Thomas, I believe, on vocal, if I'm not mistaken. Does anybody really know what time it is? Chicago. Moonshadow, Cat Stevens. Dance, 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 Yowza, Yowza, Yowza by Chic. Just Remember I Love You, Firefall. Boogie Down, Eddie Kendricks. Do It or Die, Atlanta Rhythm Section. I'd actually forgot about that one entirely by them. Go All the Way, The Raspberries. Incredible Eric Carmen. You Make Me Feel Like Dancing, Leo Sayer. Sister Christian, Night Ranger. Hands to Heaven by Breathe. Barracuda, one of Heart's best songs. Disco Inferno by The Tramps. The Groove Line from Heatwave. And finally, in the craptastic lot, Let It Ride by Brockman Turner Overdrive. Now, everything else has sleeves and comes from the collection that they had purchased. And it's going to take me a couple minutes to get ready for it. I'll be right back. I'm back. Hey, I've put the box up here where I can get it hung off one of my drawers. There's literally over 100 records here, easily. These boxes hold 120 to 150 records, and it filled almost the whole box. First off, let's start off with this flexi disc, a free demonstration recording and invitation from the Longines Symphony. This one is, I'm going to turn the light on now so you can see it a little bit better. I should have done that earlier. Containing a personal message from Frank Knight, the Longines Symphony and Corliers Treasury. That is pretty funky. And of course it gives you all the details on, it's not going to show up, the collection on the back. Alright. There's a lot of stuff in here that you would not normally find in a record store. And this is one of them. This is actually a radio transcription. Don McNeil and the cast of the ABC radio network show Breakfast Club highlights from the Breakfast Club with the compliments of Airway Sanitizer, Toledo, Ohio. This goes way back to where Toledo did not have a zip code yet, so that puts it pre-1961. Toledo 3, it says here. I love that stuff. Under the Bridges of Paris from Eartha Kitt. Organ Grinder and These Feelings by William Sinclair. No idea. If you know, let me know. I hear from a lot of you when I show these off and you tell me what you know, and I'm always glad to it. Didn't know this guy put singles out. Extra Innings and Lonely Is the Name from... You see, that is actually making it worse, isn't it? Denny McLain. Denny McLain was, of course, a member of the San Diego Padres, and he played the Hammond organ and was a big lounge star in the 60s. The Vanguards, It's Too Late for Love. They spelled two wrong there. Let me pull this up so you can see it. See? Should be T-O-O. Interesting. Flight of the Hornet by B. Bumble and the Stingers. You could Only Read My Mind by Wanda Merrill. This is on an RCA record preview coming attractions label, which I'm assuming is a, obviously it's a promo. And so is this one. This was Perez Prado and his orchestra and the Marilyn Monroe Mambo and Steam Heat Mambo. Christmas Songs Part 1. This is a multiple song record. I don't see where it says who played on it. Let me get my lamp. Yeah, it's got solos from various opera singers, so this must be like operatic. Daylight Savin' Time by Keith. who of course had a hit in the 60s with 98.6. Capital promo belonged prior to me to Mike McAuliffe. Baubles, Bangles, and Beads. The Jonah Jonas Quartet. I remember that song vaguely from somebody performing it on the Dean Martin show. I want to say it was Kay Ballard. I don't remember. Again, I never heard of Happy Tiger Records. This is a promo copy. 409 from Paul Kelly. And he wrote it, so it's not the Bee Gees. 509, sorry. 409, I was thinking Beach Boys. Sorry. Mary Wells on Jubilee. Again, a promo. Mr. Touch. I don't know what all these notes say here. A little bit of comments from the gentleman who was the collector, I think. Jack in the Box, the Cowboys and Indians. The camera is not showing off the label the way it should. It's completely washing out the colors, I'm sorry. These are not all white labels. That's a typical yellow. You can see it just barely there. Kama Sutra label. Robinson Crusoe on Mars, Johnny Symbol. Hello, Dolly. In a sleeve that says Banned in Boston. I don't know quite why. The Louis Armstrong version. Arthur Godfrey and his friends, 4 all-time song hits. It's Carmel Quinn, Arthur Godfrey, Frank Parker, and Jeanette Davis doing different songs that were probably performed on Godfrey's TV show, which would have been back in the late 40s, early 50s. Midnight Lace Part 1 and Part 2 by Ray Conniff, his orchestra and chorus. And The Reinhardt Mobile by Zacharoo Morgan. I'm not sure what that is or who that is. So, again, if you guys know. Whatever you can tell me, I appreciate. Let's pull out another batch here. Mary also sent me this just as a sleeve because they found a box of nothing but sleeves. And I don't have this. Rainy Days and Mondays from Carpenters. I'm a little bit irritated that Vicky decided to scroll all over the back of it, but hey, very cool. Next up, promo, radio station promo, special extended play sampler from the album Bee Gees' Greatest. And what I find ironic is none of the singles on here were singles. None of the songs on here. There's Our Love, which is their version of Andy's hit. If I Can't Have You, their version of Yvonne Elliman's hit. Rest Your Love on Me, their version of Conway Twitty's hit. And Wind of Change, which is the best song, or the song that my mom won a copy of Main Course for me, commenting on. If you want the full story of that, go over and watch my Bee Gees influencers from, I think that was last year. But it's a great promo thing. I love stuff like that. So thank you. Work That Sucker to Death by Xavier. Ghost Riders in the Sky, The Outlaws. I love their version of this. I have this also already. Oops, some sleeves. Let me put those over there. Lucky Star, The Medicine Men. And Mary, God love her, she knows I'm a big fan. Well, I don't know if big fan is the word. I collect Dora Hall records. Dora Hall, if you didn't know, was the wife of the man who created the Solo Cup. And he was the owner of the Solo Cup company. And he spent millions of dollars trying to make his wife a singing star. She's not Mrs. Miller. Mrs. Miller is off-key most of the time. She's actually can carry a tune. Her choice of songs sometimes mystifies me. This is Cousin of Mine on Kalamo. All of the stuff are on labels her husband owned. And this one is Hello Faithless, There'll Be More. There's more in the box. Mel Blanc, I Taught Putty Tat. Great novelty song. Honey and the Dewdrops, Come My Little Baby. Richard in care of Lo and Behold on the sleeve. Never heard. Oh, excuse me. Never heard of MMC Records. I doubt that it's what I know MMC to be. The Mickey Mouse Club from the 1990s. Racing Waves, I believe this is. Yes, by Jerry Cole and his Spacemen from 1964, according to the sleeve. Pushin' Too Hard by the Seeds. I don't think I've ever seen a single on G&P Crescendo. I have a number of albums and a couple of CDs from that label, but I don't think I've ever seen a single from them. And I don't know who the Seeds are. The Challengers on a promo from G&P and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. The Bug-Eyed Man, Hollywood Argyle, Gary Paxton. Nosy Rosie by Count Popeye. Your guess is as good as mine. You know you know what to do. Leave a comment or email me. Walkin' the Blues, Jack Dupree and Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear? Okay. Banana Boat. This one scares me because I didn't know he did this. Banana Boat, Deo, and Television from the inimitable Stan Freberg. There's a lot more Stan Freberg in here we'll get to. Stan was a brilliant writer and producer and artist and everything else. And Man on the Moon, which is there's no record in this, by the way. This is just a sleeve. This is really cool, and I may already have this. I may have purchased it on a whatnot. I seem to remember getting this because I had it where I could play it before. So cool sleeve though, absolutely. Next up, almost halfway through the pile, folks. My hair keeps jaunting down in front of my side my neck. I can't stand it when it does that. Oh, I can't see who did. Is this all narration or? It doesn't say who the narrator was, I don't think. Let me see. Obviously, this is. Oh, wait. Nope. Does not say the narrator, but it is based on obviously the books and possibly the TV series, The Adventures of the Lone Ranger. That's cool. Leonard Bernstein discusses Charles Ives. Okay. Jumpin' Jiminy Christmas, Bert Kempfer and his orchestra. Rome Will Never Leave You, and You Will Always Hurt the One You Love, from Richard Chamberlain. Yes, that Richard Chamberlain. He did a bunch of albums when he was on Dr. Kildare. This is from Cozy Records. These are TV theme songs. Hawaii Five-O and Mannix, and Mission Impossible and I Spy. The Touchables by Dickie Goodman, parody of The Untouchables. Rock and Roll Merry-Go-Round by Joe Ward on a promo for King Records. Never had a promo from King Records. Fried Onions by Lord Rockingham's 11? That one's a weird one. What is it with 60s titles and onions? You had Green Onions by Booker T and the MG. Now we got Fried Onions. As I Love You, Alan Copeland. Rave On, Buddy Holly. How Are Things in California, another Dora Hall. Backed with Little Girl from Greenwood, George. Okay. Early in the Morning, Buddy Holly. Itchy Coo Park by Small Faces. The James Bond theme, Billy Strange. A Carpax original of Monster Mash, Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Keekers. Has Monster Mash's Party on the flip side. And In a Broken Dream from Python Lee Jackson. Crossing the halfway point on the singles. I've got a ton of Bee Gees in this lot too. Thank you, Mary. You know I love them. Lonely Days. Oops. Lonely Days. And How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Right here. There's more coming. Fat Man Twist, The Royal Dukes. I've already been through all these, by the way. Just so sometimes I don't. I just wait until I see you guys. But hey, there were too many. Good Morning Starshine, Oliver from Hair. Beg, Borrow, and Steal by Ohio Express. And this is on Cameo. So this might be earlier, prior to their success with Yummy, Yummy, Yummy on Buddha. I mean, Joey Levine's been in the business for so long, it's hard to tell what he did in and around the Ohio Express. I know he did Life is a Rock with the Radio Rolled Me also. Rosie, Don't Bang on the Piano by Cliff somebody. I can't read it, sorry. It's washed out there. Merry Christmas and Jingle Bells from Jackie Gleason Presents. And the other side has White Christmas and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, Spike Jones version. The Mickey Mouse March performed by the Mike Curb Congregation. Do you know how rare it is to see Vista Records anymore? I've picked up a couple here and there, various stuff from Don and Mary over the years that have been on Vista Records, but before that, the only single I had was 1977's Disco Mouse by the new Mickey Mouse Club Mouseketeers. I should play that on AM 70s. It's definitely one of those songs you're trying to forget. Got a Match by the Daddy-O's. All Shook Up, more Dora Hall. And also Tony the Pony, I Love the Outdoors. And Cuddles the Calico Lion. This is from Dora Hall's children's album that she released. The Scotch by the Olympics. I believe they were an instrumental band, if I'm not mistaken. I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, which I only know from Warner Brothers cartoons. And I don't see an artist, unless Heartbeat is the artist. Q-Ton Baker. Isn't he a blues singer? La Grande Voyage from Gerard Rousseau by Les Cantor. This is a Canadian, Montreal-based label. And You've Done It Again, Andy and the Live Wines. What? What kind of a name is the Live Wines? Okay. Maybe it's Wires. I don't know. I just can't read it. It's gotta be Wires. Yeah, it is. It's wires. I'm just blind. That's all. All right. Oh. Um, this should be in the Craptastics. Chilliwack, My Girl by Gone, Gone, Gone. Um, as I said, a lot of stuff from Atco in here. Inagata Devita, Iron Butterfly. There is In the Mood from Enoch Light and his orchestra. You Belong to Me, Part 2, and Jambalaya from Homer and Jethro. My grandma loved them. I Alla Fala Fall and The Vet I Finoscara. The artist is Siggy First. Polka, maybe? I don't know. Press conference with Jose Jimenez from Bill Dana. Of course, he played the Jose Jimenez character. To Love Somebody. Classic Bee Gees. Don't Forget to Remember, and The Lord. Don't Forget to Remember is featuring... oh, okay, that just gives all the members of the band. That's really old. Another Bee Gees song. I did not know they did this. I'm going to be listening to this and possibly working it into disco soon. House of the Rising Sun from Santa Esmeralda. They, of course, had a big hit with their cover of Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood in 1977. Okay. I have a single from this already, and I have the album somewhere. I think I bought the album somewhere. But I would have picked this up even though I'm not really fond of the chosen single, but the flip side would be interesting. This is Call Me, backed with Refugee, from the album Chipmunk Punk by the Chipmunks. I can't say I'd enjoy Call Me. I don't like that song that well anyway, but hearing the Chipmunks do Tom Petty's Refugee, I'm going to be listening to this soon. Oh God, Cotillion, I can't see the label. Slide by Slave. Mirage, and both mono and stereo promo from Mercury by Quincy Jones. Black and White, Three Dog Night, one of their classic hits. Magic by Pilot, which most people know since it became, as we say, ruined for capitalism as Ozempic. This one, I don't know what this is. This is one of the weird ones. Really weird ones. This is from a label called the Cleveland Beat. And Cleveland is stylized, so I'm going to assume this is from a television station or a newspaper. Side 1 is Mailman, and side 2 is Meat Man. I don't have any idea what that is. It's going to be on my first to listen to, because I'm very curious about that one. Never Been to Spain, Three Dog Night. I wish Hanson would record their version. Ike does a killer cover of that. Because, of course, they are from Oklahoma, so that song fits. This is a recording of Wally Schirra, along with Lieutenant Colonel John A. Powers and Herbert Kaplow, talking about Project Mercury Sigma 7. It's coverage from when it actually happened. I love stuff like this. This will probably show up on, possibly on Radio Retro Flashback one day. Lollipop and Dinner with Drac, along with Danny Boy and Off the Top from Promenade. This was a record club that did covers of popular songs. Winter Love by Bill Lindsay. Eli's Coming, another copy from Three Dog Night. I have never had the German Areola in my collection, so this is cool. This one, I can't read it though because it's black on red. I Need Somebody, question mark, and the Mysterians. And One Fine Day by the Chiffons. Did anyone else out there know that Holiday Inn had a record label? This is Slapback by the Roller Coasters. I don't know if you can see that. Holiday Inn. Nah, that didn't help. Holiday Inn Records. I mean, it's got the actual sign on it, for Pete's sake. Weird. Baby Make It Soon and Just Out of Time from Chris Farlow. Obviously a British release because it's got that center ring. Alright, I'm going to save that one. Two more Bee Gees. Massachusetts. And Words. And finally, in this next to last lot, I mean, I didn't know this existed. Mary knows I collect actors who sing. She found a picture sleeve to boot. I'm in total heaven here. Sally Field and Felicidad from the Singing Flying Nun. Holy God, I did not even know this existed. Thank you so much for that one, Mary. I mean, I don't know if she can sing or not. Alright, last lot. Gonna pull all this last bit together. Gonna be two piles here. Maybe stack them up. Okay. Last lot. This is good. The show's already running almost 45 minutes. Squeegee Ouija Madison from Planet Number 3 by Bobby Jones. I don't know what Planet Number 3 is. I don't know if that's part of the title or if that's like a play or something. Oh, geez, I can't see this at all. Well, you can't even see the label. A repertory recording. Velvet Voices of the Anita Kerr Quartet. This is designed for repeated listening. I love stuff like that, Don. Thank you. Angels, You're in Love. Unless You're in Love. And Pop Goes the Weasel. Strange Little Melody and You're Here Again. I'm sorry. The label is ridiculous. Look at how dark that is. It's crazy. Some more Mountain Dew, Grandpa Jones. Speaking of which, I'm going to take some Dr. Pepper because my mouth is getting dry. Because I've been talking so long. Let's see. Okay, here's the pile of Stan Freberg's St. George and the Dragonette and Little Blue Riding Hood. Stan was a frickin' genius. Christmas Dragnet and parts 1 and 2, which I bought a copy of off of Whatnot. This is a great parody of Dragnet. Another copy of St. George and the Dragonette. Let's see here. Theme from the Perry Mason Show by Ray Conniff and his orchestra. I'm sure everybody who watches MeTV, and now I think Great American Country is running it. Kim's been watching it every afternoon. Because I'm sorry, I'm in my early 60s. Okay, you know that. I grew up watching Perry Mason. My mother was a fanatical fan. You can't go wrong with that show, despite what Svengoolie thinks. The Jazz Walk. This is This is one of those dance records. Don sold a bunch of these before, where the dance is actually here, but I'm at a loss to understand why one side is yellow and the other side is blue, but it's the same song, the Jazz Walk. I don't know. Rancheros de Topo Chico, and the title is worn away. I can't see it. I just don't understand Anne Margaret. Hubba hubba. C'est le bon, Stan Freberg. Backed with a Dear John and Marcia letter. Oh boy, I've heard that. That's on Dr. Demento all the time. Another copy of Banana Boat from him. Velvet Waters, the Megatrons. Music to Think by Dick Boyle. This is a promo. I do not know this. I don't think this is Jeopardy theme music. I don't know who wrote that. I thought Merv Griffin wrote it, but I might be wrong. This was written by him, and it is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Or yeah, so I don't know. We'll find out. What Time Is It? Parts 1 and 2 from General Crook. I want to say that's R&B funk. I'm not sure. I Gotta Get a Message to You from the Bee Gees. Jumbo by the Bee Gees. I do not know this song. I've probably heard it, but I don't know it. Secret Love by Sean Flynn. I don't know what this is. It's by John Hunsucker. Mary, I'm gonna hurt you. John Hunsucker and the Pine Mount Gospel Singers. The song is Let Me Look Past the Curtain and There's a Light Hanging High. I assume this gospel is based in Florida from the label. There's no label name, so I assume that was released by the group itself. John Hunsucker. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Give Me a Little Kiss by Michael Landon. I didn't know he'd recorded anything. There you go. Other than on the Bonanza album, but The Night Before Christmas Song from Russ Morgan and his orchestra. Picture sleeve of sorts. It's a sleeve of Tonight I Celebrate My Love. Peebo Bryson and Roberta Flack. Great song. The Stripper, David Rose. This is in immaculate condition. I don't know if you can tell. There isn't a scratch on that. Everyone's a Winner, Hot Chocolate. Firefly, Travis Womack. What is a Freem by Steve Allen. So you know that's comedy. Back with I Never Harmed an Onion. Stinky the Little Reindeer. And Santa Caught a Cold on Christmas Eve by somebody calling themselves Dick and Richard. I have no idea what this is. Poco Loco by Gene and Eunice. The Girl from Ipanema from the Glenn Miller Orchestra. The Glenn Miller Orchestra? Well, after Glenn's passing, obviously. No, another black, silver on black. Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? Lonnie Donegan. Christmas Island, the Andrews Sisters and Guy Lombardo. Give Me One More Chance, Wilmer and the Dukes. Summertime Fun, Kirby St. Romain. Never heard of Teardrop Records, ever. I've not heard of a lot of these labels. Here Comes the Judge by Shorty Long. Is that the hit version? I know that song. Obviously, it was inspired by Laugh-In, but I don't remember. And then there's these. These actually have the record in them. These are also repertory recordings, and are both by the Anita Kerr Singers. This is Velvet Voices, and each features 4 songs, as you can see on the back there. And Love on a Summer Night. Anita Kerr passed away, I think, last year. I remember doing a tribute to her on Obscuria. She was a legend in the business, and did some amazing stuff with her vocal quartets over the years. Finally, and I haven't seen one of these in ages. A record from the Gilmar Record Club. Now, my cousin, Donna, belonged to this when she was a teenager back in the 60s, and I ended up getting a couple of those from her. I don't know if I still have them. I have to look. But this one is, they have 8 hits on each record. They're recorded by their own people. So, these are what we call sound-alike records. What my friend Ben Minot over at Oddity Archive calls record ripoffs. These are, I don't know. I know a couple. The Mountains High, Who Put the Bump, You Don't Know What You've Got, Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavor? Tossin' and Turnin', Michael, I assume that's Michael Row the Boat Ashore, Wooden Heart, and Last Night. These are hard to come by. You rarely see these anymore. And that is it. One more thing I almost forgot. I just saw it sitting here. I'm like, oh, I didn't show that. Mary sent me this in addition to all those records she sent me this week. This is a die-cast Johnny Lightning, The Partridge Family Bus. You should have seen my eyes light up when I got this. Mary, I don't know. We talked about this last night, but I'm over the moon. I will eventually, when we get everything finished in here, I will find a place for it to be showed off for everybody because I love it. Thank you. That is it. Dawn and Mary. Mary, it's going to take me forever to go through these. It took me almost an hour to talk about them. And I'm not done yet because I have an album I want to show off. I was so fortunate to hook up with my pal Jim Gleason at Radio Wasteland Records. I don't know if I'll ever get to meet the man because he lives in Midland, Michigan. But I got to know him through the podcast he does with Professor Steve Carlson, 2 guys talking about records. It's one of the most listened to podcasts on Spotify. And Jim has, in the last month or two, I've picked up a number of things from him because he's getting stuff in that I haven't seen for ages or that I've never seen and that I want. He's got a Dora Hall album right now that I'm going to pick up from him because she did only 3 or 4 albums. Most of her stuff was singles. This, though, is very near and dear to me. When I was about to turn 12, this television special first aired. I was nuts about the special, and I have always adored the music from this special and the overall music of this woman's career. I have 5 or 6 of her albums and a ton of her singles. I picked up, I asked my mom and my aunt, who we were living with at the time, to get me this album for my birthday, my 12th birthday. They tried but couldn't find it anywhere. It was out of print for years, and then it was reissued in 1987 or 88, and I picked that up. And it's a great album, and I still love the music. Last week, Jim showed it off on his Friday vinyl release, the Friday drop show, and flipped by it, and I'm like, Jim, is that an OG? And he said, yeah, and it's in really good shape. And I got an extra bonus when it arrived on Wednesday because I did not know the original OG was a gatefold. I have, like I said, I have the reissue. It's not a gatefold. This one is. This is the original soundtrack from Really Rosie. It is a wonderful television special inspired by the works of Maurice Sendak. Carole King does the voice of Rosie in the special and wrote and performs all the music. There's a picture of Rosie the character. And in this wonderful gatefold, the lyrics to all of the songs. It comes from Ode Records. It comes with the original Ode inner sleeve and a custom label. I have never, ever seen that, and I did not realize it was a gatefold when it was originally released. Jim, I don't know who gave you this or what collection you picked this up in, But please, if you ever see them again, tell them you have found a very grateful, loving owner for it in Massachusetts. I will treasure this till the day I die. The original OG release of Really Rosie from Carole King. Jim, thank you. I'm going to shut up now. I have been talking for nearly an hour. My voice shows it. Don't forget, Saturday night disco party tonight at 11. Sunday shows should all be up at regular time. I'll have to rush because today is a pay-per-view day. This is one of those days that wrestling fans live for and hate, because AEW's All Out was always scheduled for this day, and then WWE decided to do a pay-per-view opposite it because they're being major pains in the ass right now. So All In moved to 3 o'clock after, and then WrestlePalooza, which we're not watching anyway, will be on at 8 on supposedly on the new ESPN Unlimited. It'll be fun because I follow wrestling news, and I'm going to laugh my ass off if things go wrong tonight, and I think they're going to. In any case, don't forget, this Monday is our live Friday, Finding Your Music Mojo. It will be me and Kim. Dawn is taking the week off because they had that massive estate sale the last few days, and they're going to need a couple days to recuperate. So just like their last sale, Kim is going to fill in. We're going to talk about tribute bands. This was Kim's idea, and I don't think we have anything by them. We've seen a couple of them here and there, but bits and pieces. You can see a lot of them online. I know one person I adore is the woman that does the Karen Carpenter stuff. We'll be talking about tribute bands, so please join us Monday, September 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on the East Coast, 4 p.m. Pacific, live on the Pacific Coast, and 1 a.m. in Europe, I think, for Finding Your Music Mojo. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We have hit that magic 1,500 mark and are climbing farther and farther. 1,500 was my goal for this year. I have already surpassed it. Thank you guys so much. New stuff coming this week, new shows coming this week, all kinds of cool stuff. So stay tuned for TKR Video Central and this special edition, long edition of Out of the Box. I'm TC Kirkham. I will see you on the interwebs. Ciao, baby. Say bye, sadness. Bye.